So good morning, welcome to Yoga with Tina. We are doing the lower back release today. So this is one of those that you might see that my mobility is a little bit limited. That's because I'm keeping my eyes on my own prize. But I will cue so that you don't have to be limited. Even if you don't have any discomfort in your back today, what we're doing today, the sequence that we're doing today, it's not just for releasing lower back pain, but it's also making small adjustments and movements towards a healthier spine. A lot of that has to do with our hips. Our hips are the intersection of our body. So healthy and flexible and strong hips help to keep our lower spine healthy and flexible, and it also protects our knees. So with that, join me in an easy seated posture. I was going to start in child's pose today, but we'll ease into it a little bit. So come into an easy seat. We'll just do a couple of neck warm-ups here, and then we'll move into our child's pose. And we'll do some lower things first. We are still doing back bend, so even though we might have some lower back discomfort, it's really good to continue to slowly and gradually and patiently still keep some movement in the places that have discomfort. Because I noticed yesterday, because of my own lower back discomfort, I felt myself protecting and holding. And I think that just brings more strain and discomfort to the area that you're trying to release. So I'm going to stop talking so much. That's my job though, right? I'm supposed to be talking. Find your sit bones, find your alignment. Crown of the head. That's right. We each carry a crown with us. Be the queen or the king. I don't know if any guys watch this, but be a king if you need to. All right, release the top of the head up towards the sky. Start drawing that belly button in towards the backbone just to stabilize the lower spine. And then find your alignment. So ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. And start to sink the lower half of the body. So start rooting the lower half of the body and allow the upper part of the body to rise. So that doesn't mean that the chin looks up. It just means that you're bringing length to the spine. And then your choice on where the palms are, they can either be face down if you feel like you really want to start the practice grounded and connected, or if you are ready to start receiving energy that you start to create in your own space, then I invite you to have palms up. Just start softening. Invite the eyes to close or be still. Keeping the lips closed. Bring separation between the top and bottom teeth, and then release the tongue from the top of the mouth. Just noticing those small adjustments, how that brings a smooth, relaxation to the face. Noticing when we don't even realize we're holding tension. Maybe draw the chin towards the chest just slightly. Noticing how that small movement brings a little bit more length in the top of the spine. And then start scanning the body from the top of the head all the way to the bottoms of the feet. Noticing where you might be holding on to your tension today. So even though we are doing a lower back release, be mindful of where you might be holding tension and spending an extra breath or two there to kind of relieve the stress and tension in your own body. Notice where the breath is, and just by noticing, perhaps notice how the breath starts to slow down. Feel that cool air coming in through the nose. Let it feel warm on the exhale. I'd imagine everyone that's watching today needs a little bit of warmth. And then once you are finished with the body scan, start bringing intentional breath into the body. Long, slow inhales and exhale. On the inhale, we inhale through the nose, expand. We're expanding. We're filling the lungs from the bottom all the way up, sipping into the top of the chest. On the exhale, after we've held that breath for a few moments, Then we're releasing the breath, and then draw the belly button all the way in towards the backbone to get rid of any stale air from the night before. Just a few times on your own. Exhale can be through the nose or through the mouth, whichever feels good. Use this breath during the day. Remember that you have a breath that can calm you. So use it during the day. If you feel like you've gotten into a point where you're frustrated, or when you're feeling a little bit like you can't focus, find a quiet space. Your closet, the bathroom with the door closed, maybe out on your front porch. Just take a few moments and breathe. 5 deep inhales and exhales. Inhale all the way up, exhale all the way out, so that you have this full, beautiful breath. You can tell when our breath is a little bit restricted, like we can't quite get a full one. So make sure it's 5 full, deep inhales and exhales to get your central nervous system to reset. One more deep breath in through the nose, hold at the top. And a long, slow exhale to release. Draw that belly button all the way into the backbone, hold at the bottom. And then return to your neutral breath. Draw the chin down towards the chest. Feeling that stretch in the very top of the spine. Maybe slowly just rocking one ear and then the other to the side with the chin released. Just small, gentle movements. On the next exhale, return to center. Left ear to left shoulder, right fingertips down towards the earth. And then return to neutral, right ear to right shoulder. Release the left fingertips down. And then slowly release. One more time, chin down towards the chest. Bring a little bit of more motion into the neck, and then look up towards the sky, nice and slow. Shoulders are released. Continue to keep the alignment. Continue that breath. One more time, chin down to the chest. Inhale, looking all the way up. And return to neutral. Plant the left hand. Reach the right arm up and over. So bending that left elbow, just to give you a little bit more space. So I'm taking my time with this one. So if your spine is feeling fine, sorry, not sorry, can't help it. Then go ahead and really lean into it. Like this feels great right after you wake up in the morning. But if you have limitations, take your time with it. Return to neutral. So ease into it, and then plant the right hand, and then stretch the left arm up and over, and really just ease into it. I like alliterations, I like rhymes. I enjoyed preschool teaching. My kids don't find it funny anymore because they're 17 and 13. And return to neutral. Slowly, bring your knees underneath. We're coming into child's pose. So if child's pose is not your favorite pose, that's all right. You got some options. You can keep the knees together, hips released, arms draped to the side, forehead released. That's one option. You can also do extended child's pose where the knees are released to the long edge of the mat, big toes come to meet, hips are released down to the heels, and then walking the hands out. You can also tuck your block underneath your bottom. You could put a blanket under there, or you can allow the body to come all the way in puppy pose. So if you don't like the hips release, you can keep the hips high and then sink the underarms all the way towards the earth, forehead to the mat. Your choice on where you want to start today. 3 more deep breaths here. With each exhale, release. Release what is not serving you today. soften the body, release any tension. And then slowly come into your tabletop, finding that alignment, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, tops of the feet connected with the earth, and then draw that belly button in towards the backbone. Eyes are towards the mat. Nice long spine. So really, it's not much of a pose, or it doesn't feel like it's much of a pose, but as you draw that belly button in towards the backbone, it helps you to stabilize and lengthen the spine. Fingertips and palms pressed into the earth. On the next exhale, tuck the tailbone under, release the chin to the chest, curl the spine coming into cat pose. So noticing where you might need to like just move the shoulders or move the hips back and forth just slightly to continue warming the body up. On the next inhale, scoop the spine, lift the tailbone, eyes towards the front of the mat into cow pose, and then slowly move the hips side to side. Exhale to cat. Inhale for cow. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone under, chin to the chest. Inhale, scooping the spine. And then returning back to neutral. Walk the hands away from the body, coming into puppy pose. Or bleeding heart. There's lots of different names for these poses. So sliding the hands away from the body, release the underarms. Keeping the hips stacked over the knees, forehead released towards the mat. Belly button drawn in towards the backbone. And then slowly lower the elbows down, extend the legs behind. Nice and slow. If you were feeling tension in the lower spine, no need to rush. Remind me not to wince. I remind my students when I'm in person, try not to make faces during yoga. That means we're not being gentle enough. So coming into our Sphinx pose for just a few breaths. So if the elbows aligning underneath the shoulders is too much of a back bend, then just release the elbows towards the front of your mat. The whole lower part of the body is released, and fingertips, palms pressed into the earth. Eyes are at the front of the mat. Take a couple more breaths here. Shoulders released, core is still engaged. On the next exhale, lower the chest, slide those hands right next to the chest. Tuck the elbows in, coming into baby cobra. So really just a small movement. Shoulders are released here. On the next exhale, release the body, slowly coming into child's pose. So we've done this little mini warm-up flow before. So as you're transitioning from one pose to the other, just be mindful. On the inhale, coming into cobra. Nice and slow, like feeling the spine almost articulate into place. Exhale, back to your child's pose. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, release the hips. One more deep breath in child's pose. And then slowly come through tabletop. Step the right foot forward, but the hands are going to come to the inside, so the instep of the right foot. So we're setting up for lizard pose. If you have a block, maybe grab it. I'll grab mine just so I can show you. So with lizard pose, especially if you're having some tension in the spine, it's nice to have something just to bring the earth a little bit closer. So depending on where your spine is, this feels like a good release for my lower back and for my but it feels kind of nice to have the earth lifted up. You can also, there's 3 levels of the block, so you can place the block at whatever level. So I've got my right knee over my right ankle, and the left leg is down. For lizard pose, there's lots of different places you can go. So from here, you can heel toe walk that right foot towards the edge of the mat and start lowering down to the forearms. And again, forearms can be on the block or on the floor. You can also turn the left toes under and power up the left leg and lower to the forearms. I'm going to let you do that. You can imagine me doing it, just not today. But this one is a nice deep stretch, and it kind of stretches kind of the sides of the spine. One more deep breath here, and then on the exhale, slowly release the right leg behind. Take a child's pose. So either knees together or knees released into extended child's pose. One more deep breath. On the exhale, switching sides for lizard. So coming through that tabletop, stepping the left foot forward. So left knee over left ankle. Find the space that feels good to you. So again, for lizard pose, you can turn the right toes under, power up the right leg, come all the way down on forearms. You might have to just heel toe walk the left foot out towards the edge of the mat to give yourself a little bit of space. So wherever you want to stop. I have my right knee released, the top of my right foot connected, and I'm just leaning into the space. Core is engaged. I'll keep reminding you. One more deep breath. On the exhale, slowly release the left leg back, coming back to your child's pose. 3 deep breaths. On the next exhale, keeping the hands planted, turn the toes under, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. So really keep a nice soft knee here. We are not really doing warm-ups, but since this is our first down dog, try to release the ears in between the arms. So bending the knees generously, slow pedaling of the feet. Core, of course, is engaged. Head and neck are soft, fingertips and palms pressed into the earth. Tailbone is lifted high. And then slowly look between the hands and walk the feet up towards the front of the mat. Coming into forward fold. So forward fold with limitations on the spine. Bend those knees so that you have a little bit more stability, maybe even allow the feet to be a tiny bit wider than your hips, and have the block ready if you have a block. So release the very top of the spine by releasing the crown of the head towards the earth. So from here, you can hold on to opposite elbows, hug behind the knees, and then for a really deep release, you can take the bottoms of your feet and step on the palms of your hands or your fingertips. So the backs of my hands are connected with the mat, my feet are placed right on the palms. And then as I straighten the legs a little bit, I start to get a release from that lower spine. The jaw stays soft. Skin of the face feels soft. Deep inhales and exhales. Use your block for stability or to bring the earth closer. On the next exhale, release the hands wherever they are, and then slowly walk the hands all the way up. So keep that chin released towards the chest, and then it helps to just create this beautiful rounding effect of the spine. And then stack one vertebrae at a time. Find the feet in mountain pose. So lift all 10 toes. Use your beautiful brain to release each toe one at a time. Engage the legs, the core, more deep breaths. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over, palms pressed together. Exhale to heart center. Step right foot over left. All 10 toes pointed towards the short edge of the mat. On the next exhale, send the hips back. Nice long spine. And then if you feel like you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you release the fingertips and start reaching towards the block or towards the floor. You can start curling the nose towards the knee. Nice deep stretch for the back of the legs. This is great for runners. Just targeting those hamstrings and the calves. On the next exhale, place the hands at the hips, stopping halfway, nice long spine. And then coming all the way up. Stepping the right foot back, medium step. So not as far as you would for like a warrior one. All 10 toes pointed towards the front of the mat. The feet are on railroad tracks, so not on a balance beam. Hands to the hips, and then sending the hips back. Nice long spine here. And then release the fingertips towards the earth or towards the block. If the fingertips are released all the way to the earth, draw the nose towards the knee. And then release. Start bringing the hands back to the hips, stopping halfway. Release the shoulders, engage the core, and then come all the way up. Big step back with the right foot. Legs are straight here. So left toes are pointed towards the short edge of the mat. Right toes are pointed towards the long edge of the mat. Squaring the hips off, floating the arms parallel with the floor. Eyes over the left fingertips. Reaching as far as you can, coming into triangle. And then release the left fingertips to the inside of the left leg. Reaching the right arm up and over. Core is engaged. Jaw stays soft to breathe. Try to stack the shoulders, one shoulder over the other. The whole torso is leaning like it's in between two panes of glass here. So if you find your shoulders coming forward, try to dial the shoulders back so that the whole torso is in line. Engage the core. Slowly come all the way up. Eyes looking out over the left fingertips, and then bending into the left knee, windmill circle the arms all the way down. Step the left foot back, coming into high plank. Invite the low plank if that feels better. Core stays engaged. Bend the elbows, stop halfway. Inhale, coming into cobra. Exhale, turn the toes under, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. Pedal the feet out, continue the breath. Look towards the front of the mat, step, walk the feet forward, coming back to your forward fold. Bending the knees, so if you did this earlier, planting the backs of the hands on the mat so that you are stepping on the palms of the hands. See if you can straighten the legs just a little bit more. On the next exhale, release the hands wherever they are, and then walk the hands up the legs, curl the spine. So chin release to the chest, curl the spine all the way up. Coming back to your mountain pose. So if you're in forward fold and you prefer the feet to be a little bit further apart for stability, just bring them back in line with the hips. So all 10 toes lifted. Find that alignment, ears, shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankles. So lift all 10 toes, and then slowly using your beautiful brain, release each toe, hugging the mat, and then strengthening the legs, the glutes, the core, strengthen the arms. 2 more deep breaths here. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over, palms pressed together. Reaching up high, lean towards one side for crescent moon. Reaching up high towards the center, opposite side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release to heart center, stepping left foot over right, all 10 toes pointed towards the front of the mat. Core is engaged. Exhale, send the hips back. Stopping halfway. And then if it feels good, you can reach the fingertips towards the earth, curl the nose towards the knee. On the next exhale, slowly bringing the hands to the hips, coming all the way halfway, nice long spine. Exhale, release all the way up. Stepping back with the left foot, medium step back into pyramid. On your railroad tracks, 10 toes pointed towards the short edge of the mat. Hands to the hips. Exhale, send the hips back. Stopping halfway. Checking in with that nice long spine. So really engage the core here to support. Crown of the head reaching towards the front of the mat. Tailbone reaching towards the back of the mat. And then if you want to go deeper, you can release the fingertips towards the earth, curl the nose towards the knee. On the next exhale, bring those hands back to the hips, stopping halfway, lengthen the spine, and then coming all the way up. Stepping back with the left foot, right toes pointed towards the short edge of the mat, hips are square with the long edge, left toes to the long edge. Engage the core. Reaching the arms up parallel with the floor. Eyes over the right fingertips. On the next exhale, reach the right fingertips all the way towards the front of the mat, as far as you can go. And then just release the fingertips to the inside of this right leg, sweeping the left arm up and over. So again, if you feel the right shoulders kind of leaning forward, try and draw the shoulders in line, stacking one on top of the other. Core stays engaged here to really protect the lower spine, but you're also strengthening that spine right here. On the next exhale, engage the core even more to give you stability to come all the way up. And then bending into the right knee, windmill circle, the arms all the way down, stepping the right leg back, high plank, invite that low plank if it feels better. Core is engaged. Bending the elbows, tucking them close in towards the chest, stopping halfway. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, turn the toes under, lifting the hips, downward facing dog, pedal it out. Deep inhales and exhales. On the next exhale, coming into full plank. Take 3 breaths in full plank, adjusting the wrists underneath the shoulders, eyes towards the mat, pressing into the heels. Core is engaged. On the next exhale, bending the elbows tight in towards the torso, stopping halfway, and then lowering all the way down. One hand on top of the other, forehead released to the top of the hand, bending the knees, nice slow windshield wiper here to release tension from the lower spine. With each exhale, release the tension, release what's not serving you today. And then slowly release the legs, sweeping the arms next to the body. Engage the core, forehead connected with the earth, shoulders are released. Inhale, lifting just the feet, maybe the knees peel off of the floor, engaging the glutes and the core. And then slowly release the legs. On the next inhale, peeling the forehead and the shoulders off of the floor. Core is engaged, glutes are engaged, legs are engaged here. Eyes towards the front of the mat. On the next exhale, release. Inhale, lift the whole body. So the whole body's engaged. Really energize those fingertips pointed towards the back of the mat. Deep inhales and exhales here. On the next exhale, release everything down. One hand on top of the other, forehead released. Bending the knees, slow windshield wipering back and forth. Exhale, release the legs. Draw the hands next to the chest, tuck the elbows in. Press the earth away from the body. Nice and slow. Tuck the knees underneath. Release the hips into child's pose. So, and again, child's pose can be extended child's pose where the knees are released to the long edge of the mat. But with the knees tucked in, it really helps to stretch and release that lower spine. One more deep breath. In through the nose, fill, expand. On the exhale, plant the hands next to the knees, release the chin to the chest. Slowly start rolling the spine. One vertebrae at a time, all the way up. Finding your alignment, engage the core, fingertips towards the earth. Eyes right ahead. Soften that jaw. And then maybe clasping hands behind the back, send the fists towards the earth, looking up towards the sky. So really release the shoulders down to open the chest, open the heart. So when we are feeling discomfort in our body, it is so natural, even when our minds and spirits are feeling discomfort, it's so easy for us to close off that chest and heart space. So important, not just when we're scrolling and hunching over our tablets and phones and laptops, but when we are protecting ourselves, it's so important to counteract that by opening the chest and the heart. And then slowly release. So sweep the legs underneath. Release the legs out in front, toes and knees pointed up. Find the sit bones in alignment. Inhale, reach the arms up and over. Exhale, hinging at the hips. So feeling that stretch, like almost immediately in the hamstrings. If it's too intense, bend the knees. Release. Be gentle with yourself. So I'm going to even bend them so much that I can hug my arms underneath and then release the forehead down. One more deep breath. On the exhale, release the arms, curl the spine all the way up. Coming into an easy seat or cross-legged pose. So starting in easy and cross-legged, take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, twisting. So if you are feeling discomfort, don't twist so much. Just look out over the left shoulder. Right shoulder is released. So use the leverage of the right hand on the outside of the knee to allow you to twist deeper or to gain a little bit more control. And then slowly release. Switching legs, so now bringing the left leg in front, right leg tucked in, and then bring the left hand to above, like kind of to the outside of the right knee. Just no pressure on the knee. Right hand is released behind. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then slowly release, bringing the right leg in front. I'll turn this way. So coming into our half lotus, I know some of you enjoy full lotus, so invite the full lotus. I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling today. If you want to invite full lotus, bring the left, yeah, I'm not doing it. I can just feel it when I start moving my left leg. So with half lotus, I just brought the top of my right foot into the crease of my left. If that's too much, grab a block. You can always release the foot right out in front or to a pillow. It doesn't, you know, if you have like a dense couch pillow, that'll work too. And then take the right hand to the outside of the left knee, slowly twist. So this is a half lotus spinal twist. Right shoulder is released down. And then slowly release, setting up for the other side. So if you're in full lotus, invite the opposite. So now I have the left foot, I'll invite into the crease of the right leg. But again, you can invite that left leg up too. So left hand to the outside of the right knee, release that right arm behind. Inhale, we lengthen, exhale, twist. And then slowly release. And then release the whole body down. So we're just gonna do a couple more poses. So slowly release the body all the way down. But if you have a block, and if you don't have a block, it's okay. You can still do bridge pose, but assisted bridge is so great for releasing any tension from your lower spine. So bring the heels in close to the hips, and really the weight of the body will be in the bottoms of the feet and in your shoulders. No pressure ever in the neck or the head. So if you have a block, slowly peel the hips up, and you might have to turn, kind of pull those shoulders underneath, come up on tiptoes. So I use the medium setting on the block and slide it right beneath your sacrum. So the sacrum is that sweet spot between the tailbone and the lower back. So when I release the hips down, it immediately feels like a really nice release. I can feel that very lower spine that's causing me trouble to kind of expand and release, but I'm fully supported. So if it doesn't feel good, it's probably in the wrong spot. So really think about your spine, where the tailbone is located, where that kind of like lower curvature of the spine is. Try to put the block in between those. And from here, we're just taking a couple of breaths. If you are in a bridge without the block, feel free to take a few breaths and then slowly release. And join us again if you would like to continue the pose. One more deep breath. Inhale, lift up on the toes, remove the block, and then slowly lower one vertebrae at a time. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a hug, maybe a kind word for the day. Encourage yourself. Talk nicely to yourself. Remind yourself it doesn't matter the age, we are still learning and growing. Rock the knees back and forth, and then make small circles in one direction and the other to massage that lower spine. Open the arms up into a T, release the knees to the right hand side, slowly, and look out over the left shoulder. So really be mindful of the twists. Try not to let your knees drop into place. On the next exhale, using your hands to assist the knees back to neutral, reset the spine. And then release the knees to the left-hand side, looking out over the right. On the next exhale, assist the knees with your hand back to neutral. Hug the knees in one more time. And then slowly start to release the whole body down to the mat, preparing for Shavasana or resting pose. So extend the legs out long. I always encourage you to extend, strengthen, find your alignment, and then soften and release. So as we soften and release, the feet naturally open to the long edge of the mat. Invite the palms face up. Scoot the shoulders out of the way. draw the chin a little bit closer towards the chest and notice the elongation of the neck. Feel the vibration of the body and the soles of the feet. Soften the tops of the feet. Release each toe one at a time. Feel the backs of the legs connected with the earth. Soften. Release any tensions from the hips, from the stomach. Soften the lower spine. Feel the parts of that lower spine connected. Feel the parts of the lower spine that are lifted off of the mat naturally. Feel the connection of the shoulder blades, opening up that chest and heart space, and then soften and release. Release the tension in the shoulders, soften the arms. Feel the connection of the arms with the earth. Feel the vibration of the body in the palms of the hands. Release each finger one at a time. Release any tension from the neck. Soften the jaw. Keeping the lips closed. Bring separation between the top and bottom teeth and release the tongue from the top of the mouth. Soften the cheeks, the ears, the nose. Release the tension from the eyes and the forehead. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. On the exhale, release from the top of the head, inviting the eyes to close, and releasing all the way through to the bottoms of the feet. For just a few moments, I'll let you rest, and then you'll hear my voice again. As you start to hear the sound of my voice, start bringing awareness back to your space. Noticing your stillness. Noticing the slowness of the breath. Inviting small movements into the fingers and toes. Keeping the eyes closed. And as you feel ready, slowly rolling to one side. Maybe drawing the knees in towards the chest. But pausing for a moment to enjoy the bliss. So the movements of yoga, the postures of yoga help to keep our bodies strong and flexible, but it also helps to create space for our mind and our spirit to be still. It's through that movement, it is through that flow, that energy drawn in to be able to disconnect just a little bit, inviting that stillness. That stillness helps us to be mindful of gratitude. For me, I think it all starts with gratitude. So as we focus on our blessings, focus on the things that are good, it helps us to give perspective for the things that challenge us. Perspective on the words we use, the actions we take. So when we allow ourselves to be still, it helps us to think and speak and act a little bit more patiently and calmly. It helps us to approach our lives and the lives that we engage in with a tiny bit more kindness and justice. It helps to give us perspective that perhaps it's not all personal. It rarely is personal. It helps us to meet people where they are and invites the people that we engage with to understand they may not know our whole story. You are beautifully and perfectly made, just the way that you are, exactly the way that you are. I invite you always to show up authentically and vulnerably. Be brave and take that step forward so that you can show others the way. What a beautiful thing that would be. As you feel ready, slowly join me in a seated posture, finding your alignment, inviting the fingertips to the earth to be grounded one more time before entering your day. As you feel ready, opening the arms up wide, collect this beautiful energy you help create into the palms of your hands. Exhaling all of that to heart center, thumbs to the heart to remind us we are never alone, and we are all connected by no mistake. May you be safe, may you be well, may you be at ease, and may you know peace. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.